What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We are on the road to the path to pro, the gateway to greatness, and it's all happening tonight here on the Double Shot Run. We are back again trying to find out who's headed to the league, man.
Oh, that's it. Finally, we're here, my friend. Challenger Series Swiss stage. All the open qualifiers done. And I know we talked numbers the last time, but if you didn't remember, 544 teams signed up over 4 open qualifiers to make it to this spot, my friend. And it is freaking wild. We're here finally. And honestly, with how many great games we had available to choose from, 8, the 16 teams that are left, there was not a single bad game. Everything is going to be great here in the Swiss stage, and we picked an awesome one for you. I'm going to show it real quick. I know everyone's been wondering about it, and the biggest question was, and answered, who was Ginkgo, my friend? We know the answer now.
Yeah,
that's right.
Latam's mystery reveal.
Latam's last hope. They made it in, and they're taking on Rush Z. But honestly, Aerial Rise, Hatton Co., Team Colt, Fury of Frogs, In Control, Keegan Co. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and there is not a bad team in the list, and I am so excited for this one, my friend.
Yeah, no kidding. And just want to say thank you so much for the gifted subs. Z, Queen, Cabalito, we appreciate your support tonight. Oh, man, it is already starting off with an absolute bang. Run, you said this was it. There's no bad teams going into this, right? We've got friends on every single side of this one. At the end of Challenger Series, one of our homies is going to make Pro League again.
Yeah, I can't believe it. That is. Now, they've got to make it through Swiss, right? You've got to make it all the way through Swiss there to get to the playoffs, and there's a couple big names waiting. One of our fan favorites, JJ and Co. I mean, JJ's waiting. He's got to figure out who does he get to play when we get to the playoffs, my friend. But let's take a look at it. We're seeing match number 8 tonight here on the SDS channel. Outlast NA taking on FootLocker's finest.
Oh, and this is a good one, my friend, right? We talked about this before. Frozen Candle, Twist, Inrio, Ticey. These guys, we have been casting on the Double Shot channel for years, actually, it feels like, right? I mean, we have known these guys for a long time, met some of them at the Atlanta Major. And then on the other side of it, I mean, Mike W. for president, hello, Packer Bino, Silo, Volsper. I mean, this one has the potential to go the freaking distance.
I mean, just in the last year alone, we've got to see most of both of these teams at LAN events, whether it was in Toronto getting a cast with the Shopify Rebellion team or in Philadelphia for the NAL finals for the Element 6. These guys have been around, like we said, a bunch of great teams. And honestly, looking forward to it. Better than the open qualifiers, we are in a best of 3 finally. We're going to get a little extra seeds to decide who makes it, my friend. And the map bands are in. Let's take a look at where we're going.
Well, you said it, my friend. The story is told by where the battleground is set. And this one run, spicy. While we don't see Fortress, as you can see, it's taken off on the fourth pick there. We do, however, get some new ones, right? It's Consulate, it's NightHaven, it's Lair, all brand new additions to the map pool, like in the last couple of seasons here. So it's the big ones. I'm excited for this one. This has the ability for longevity, I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, it really felt like Outlast was watching FootLocker at the end of these open qualifiers. They said, border not on your life. FootLocker was so good on this map through the open qualifiers, especially on that day 4. Very good on this map overall. And I really wanted to see Fortress. You mentioned it. I've been talking about it the entire time, but when it comes down to deciding who makes it into Pro League, who at least is going to get a chance to play against JJ, you better be really freaking confident on that map. And I can see why they didn't want to send it. But speaking of send it, my friend, it is time for Consulate.
Oh, man, I love Consulate. Hey, appreciate you, Z, with another 5 gifted. You absolute legend. Thank you so much. And if you got a gifted sub, say thank you in the chat. Enjoy those custom emotes, my friend. Use them across the board. We've got them smoked, by walls, any of them. Just go ahead and freaking send it. Run, you said it. It's Consulate. This has been probably one of my more favorite maps recently, just because it's had so much diversity in the way that you can approach this, both attacker and defender-wise. Honestly, this is going to be a great first one.
Yeah, this is one of those maps that I was actually a D1 Consulate hater, especially after the rework. It just didn't feel good. Didn't feel like the old Consulate and was missing something. But honestly, I have grown to love this map, and we've got to see better and better teams. Teams get better and better at the way they played it, and this has become a very fun one. So I'm really looking forward to this. 3 full floors. It's a giant big box. A little bit more interesting than Cafe has turned out to be recently. Consulate has got it all.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk bans here, right? When you're approaching Consulate, you got to be a little bit wary in who you take off the board, because there's several routes to go for this one, right? We have seen it where they leaned heavy into the breach denial and breach operators, but that's not going to be the case this time. Starting out, we're going to go with the Azami and the Clash off the board. Just don't want to have to deal with that shield and, of course, the incredible stopping power that is the Kiba barrier. And then on the other side of it, Run, they're taking Glaz off the board. That has been one of those fun picks that's been happening a ton this Challenger series.
Yeah, Glass is really in a great spot right now, it feels like, in the meta. DMR, a little extra visibility, and you know what, if it gives you that slight advantage when peaking, really feels like the guys that are good at this game have grown to love Glass. And that means it's going to get banned more frequently, but for sure, the Deimos is huge in this case. He is so good on this map in general, identifying where the roamers are because you got so much space, plus a lot of breachable floor, so I think also Deimos is in a great spot. So the shield, that's, you know, sort of a toss-up. Are you playing against a team that feels very good and has shown a lot of skill there onto the Clash, and whether or not she gets to make it through that phase? So you said it's going to leave Twitch, and I got to say, my friend, after the F2 update to get the vertical grip back, Twitch is back. She has got to be one of the best operators right now. I think she was picked or banned in nearly every single game we saw over the course of that opening day. Wild how good that gun is and how good she is right now. So fully expect Twitch to either be banned or played almost every single offensive round.
Already a ton of util out of those Twitch drones as well, right? Got some of those Goyo canisters off the board, got rid of some of that intel as well. Now it's just going to be starting to open everything up. See if they can try to close these defenders closer and closer together and find that first pick. And there it is. It's going to be the Vector ring now. Twit's going to find that first, and man advantage goes into the hands of Outlast.
Okay, huge opening pick here. The very first in the best of 3 between these two teams. So if you're watching, just joining us, yeah, all through that first open qualifier, we suffered through single elimination best of 1s. Man, you needed to be on your game constantly. So I love that we're getting to see, finally, these best of 3s come out at this point. But look at that, C4 rings out, util dump coming in to try and push through this admin side. And wow, what a trade there as Bino takes down Ticey. They lose the Warden.
And drone work pristine, and now the entry machine has been activated, but it gets shut down immediately. Defense just holding the line, Run. All of a sudden, it's a 4v2. All up to Bino and Mike W to bring this one back. The Grim Bees are out, but nobody is getting themselves in a position to even be eligible for the swing.
54 seconds left. Yeah, I mean, they're using up a little bit of util here, trying to push the Outlast defenders back, try and find an opening here. And right now, they are holding steady. Not a lot of motion out of those blue outlines as they've got the top spiral locked down. But Bino's ready to try and push in. The question, the dump comes in. He wins that. What a shot.
Quick flick towards the other doorway, too. Does a little bit of damage, but not nearly enough. Frozen's still alive, so man advantage into the hands of Outlast now in a 3v2 scenario as the time starts to tick down, becoming that 6-man. And here's where those gas canisters really start to punish the time here. They send one out. Looking forward as the Grimbees are there. C4's in it, and that's going to be another smoke canister. The last one is going to force them off. 8 seconds left as they start to open up, and they've got the cross set. Now it's time to just get active and send it for it. Can't find it. They're going to have to push up together. Takes a swing, crosses set, finds it.
No way!
Now to a 1-1.
You gotta be kidding me.
Bino, they pull it back, a 2v4 run, and they rip it out of the jaws of the defense.
Oh man, a little bit of an Outlast to throw at the end there. I mean, it's tough to call it anything other than that, except for, you know what, maybe a little opening first round jitters at this point. It's the first round, tons of siege left to be played, but honestly, huge play there from FootLocker, being able to start that thing off with the play at the top of Spiral, but then to get the plant down and just catch this team off guard, well played, and puts them in a nice position here to start this thing off. So second floor done. They're not going to play it again. Let's continue that round rotate, send it down to the basement, and they've got the breach denial ops ready. Frozen can still play the K to try and lock this thing down. Plus, they've got Inrio on the 2-brow. There's a lot of great places, a lot of great util they've got in here with the Mute and the Goyo on top of it. I love this lineup.
Yeah, it does feel good. And I like that they're keeping the routine going, right? Yeah, you didn't win your first pick of the day up on the second floor, which you've probably felt pretty confident in, but instead of getting a little ego involved, right, it's assess the mistake, move on to the next site like you want it, and then readdress it after the first quarter's over. So they do. They take it down to the basement, and they are all about stall city here onto the defensive side. How do you combat it? Well, our first bit of action, run, we're seeing the new operator on the board.
You know, I wondered how long it was going to take, and there he is. Volsper is going to run the new op, and once again on the F2. Okay, we said Twitch was either going to be played or banned, but you know what? This is a great substitute. The F2 still makes an appearance at this time in the hands of that new op. So if you got a chance to play him, I mean, he's got a pretty cool ability here to be able to detect players, and I'm waiting to see whether or not anyone takes the time to try and pick up util off the ground from the defenders. Honestly, to me, it was a little bit distracting on the screen. It's pretty visually jarring to see all the icons pop up. So we'll see how that happens here in comp.
Chat, it was pretty funny. I'm not even going to lie to you. The first time Whiskey Run picks himself up on Solid Snake, and he's like, there's markers everywhere. So that's, you know, he's seeing that as soon as somebody goes down. Nobody down yet, though. We're all five still alive. And just want to say a special shout out and thank you to Esma. Thank you so much for the gifted subs, taking us up to a level 7 hype train. Game 1 here in Challenger Series. Oh, this is tearing up to be a great night. Oh,
thank you very much for the tier 1. You know, I'm never as good as he is, but I love to give the shot occasionally. So take a look at this, man. Right now, FootLocker is on the offensive. Packer on the shield, taking a shot. Silo backing him up, though, and wins that battle and puts us in a 1v5. Inrio has got a huge battle, and it is freaking over as Mike W shuts him down at the end.
Jesus, right? That was they staged that breach with lethal reach, my friend. They just reached in and took everybody out. Found a few isolations out the gate, finding that first 2, and then just send in the spearhead, my friend. Let Blitz do his thing. They find it, and it's going to be flawless for their second.
Okay, not a bad way to go here if you're starting out FootLocker on attack. So this was their map pick. They got a chance to decide where we started this thing off, and feeling very good on Consulate here. So Outlast a little bit on the back foot, but certainly not done yet. We're going to rotate up to that second floor, and they've got the opportunity now to see how that first one played out, and they were very close, right? Talked about it. 4v2, a little bit of the throw at the end, and they could have honestly won this one. Big change, though, bringing out not the Warden this time. They're going to switch into the Tachanka, at least this time flanked by both the Smoke and the Goyo in a hard area denial play here from Outlast.
Okay, so you take it back up here, and you're going to lean into the trifecta of operators of denial. You said it. Tachanka, Goyo, and Smoke. And then you throw in a little bit of Ella for that for the shield break as well with those Grismots. I mean, it's Legion of Boom and Doom here out of the defense, and feels like a pretty good position, or pretty good start to be able to get yourself the first round.
Right now, just taking a little bit easy this time around. I haven't seen any spawn peaks, no super aggressive defense yet. But again, early here, so trying to figure out what's the right level of aggression to take on this team. So, I love using the Flores there to try and clear out some of this util. And didn't feel like Solid Snake made a huge difference on that previous round, other than bringing along the F2. And they've switched off him this time into the other roam clear operator there, bringing out the Doki and adding in stealing away the intel from the Outlast defense. So I don't have any extra cams that is going to aid and increase her value, but honestly, I think it's a good call here.
And just Flores making a light work of all this extension util. Barricades gone and forcing movement. Now the Grimbees are going to come out, but it's not going to see Ella hit by those. They're close, but he's going to be able to stay in oh geez, I was about to say uncontested, but there it is. He finds one. Twist goes down as Goyo gets taken off the board, and they're looking for a second, and they find it. Ticey also taken off the board, and now that is going to put us into a 5v3. The entry was violent, efficient, and borderline disrespectful, Run.
Oh, that was a great pinch play there from FootLocker. They had control over on the other side of admin, and they just squeezed out Ella. Ticey right now struggling 0-3. Uncharacteristic for him. Look for him to get active here. Is now Frozen running into Tachanka. He's got to try and area denial his way out of this thing. And FootLocker's already pushed up, gaining a little bit of space here, and now opening up that main breach. But what a shot onto Silo. That's a huge answer back.
Oh, man, give them two for their trouble, right? Candle starts to light a flame here as Wolfsburg gets the body shot taken off the ground, and now all of a sudden the equalizer's there. And Inrio goes down, and that's part of your area denial now done and dusted as the smoke canister finds a little bit of stall out, but not enough. He pushes right up. Packer able to finish the kill, confirmation in hand. Now a 3v2, smoke starting to come out, and this is where that Tachanka needs to be a huge part of it. But with the Candelas ringing out, it's going to make it difficult. They get in, they just start making the push. Run. It's a post-plant scenario.
No way. Exactly what you said. Frozen needed to be in a position to try and deny this plant. It's just not right place, right time. As the Ying caused a little bit of chaos and allowed the plants to go down. And once again, another one swings out. And right now, FootLocker feeling that they are playing this post-plant really well. And then they trade at the end to shut it down. Man, that was a great play.
Yeah, absolutely. Just locked in here by the attack, right? Well coordinated. You can tell that the comms are on point. And so for the first quarter of the first map of the first half, I was going to see FootLocker up by 3. A dominant start here. Now, defense, it's going to be that looking for that mid-game adaptation. What do you change? It starts with the ban phase.
Yeah, good question here coming in. And from this, for the attack, I mean, the Flores did a great job clearing out the util. At Ying, though, the chaos at the end of that previous round there just felt like that was enough to just send you up a wall and drive you crazy. And honestly, I like the timeout here, too, coming from Outlast. You lost all 3 maps on the first quarter. Now you've got the ban phase in. You know that you're going to have to try and get it done without the Solus. You got to change up your strategy because I think they ran Solus 2 of the 3 rounds. And now they banned out the Ying, so FootLocker is going to have to adapt around it. Good time out here, but honestly, we got to see a little bit more from Outlast. This is a slow start from a team that I think we expected to start a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, Easter, it is exactly right? He says round 1 set the tone, and that's exactly what it's felt like. FootLocker put the pedal to the metal and has just run with it ever since. It's just dominating that Pro League play style, right? So Outlast a bit in the bin here as we get into the second quarter. They've got the Candelas off the board, so now the part of that cheese op dealt with, a little bit of that Chaos Agent out and gone. Hopefully that makes a difference. We're going to take it down to the cafeteria to the basement to start this next set.
Ha! Bit in the bin. Man, just a little bit of a nod to our observer unnamed over in the UK. And honestly, when he got to play on the stage as the Siege double shot, that was an awesome one. So glad that he could do that and join us, the observers, the unsung heroes behind the scenes of competitive Rainbow Six Siege on the broadcast side. So much appreciated, unnamed. Now, get into this one. Yeah, a little bit extra cams this time. Dokubi not on the board yet, and I'm wondering if they're going to change that up now that, Candle is out here running the Valk.
Yeah, potentially, right? It's a ton of extra information, and just to piggyback off that, our observer, unnamed, T2 points, right? He's got T2 points as well, so I mean, he's made a solid approach to it with his Hawaiian shirts. Ah, the Hawaiians, you love it. It would be good, right? Dokkaebi, just take a ton of that intel, especially when you've got Valk on the board. You know, they got those cams in some cheeky spots here, but they did end up bringing it. Packer brings one out. You called it. Caster Curse in the good direction this time, Run.
Yeah, they feel like they're in a good spot right now. So what does Outlast got? You know what? The Pulse side bring in a ton of C4s. You check this out. 4 C4s on the defense side. They are expecting and looking to try and catch this FootLocker team off guard. Maybe have them push into in one of the confined areas over top of that main breach. And they don't have a Thatcher to try and combat that directly, so Volsper here is going to use the Solid Snake's gadget here, getting a chance to see it. Where are the gadgets at? Gives him a ton of intel there. And you know what, Bino running 5-0 on the Thermite. And Mike W 5-1. What a start for those two guys. And the fact that Bino, 0 deaths so far. He's got to be the target here for this Outlast defense.
Mike W for president. You've heard us call it out before. Oh, huge first shot, but Packer ripped down in his prime. Presidential candidate Mike W finds the headshot to Ticey on the next one, so we do get an equalizer, but not for very long. Candle, flame, snuffed. All of a sudden, man advantage into the hands of FootLocker.
Especially now you've lost 2 C4s on the Outlast side. What a tragic play to go. Even if they were pre-placed at this point, they're going to lose all their util. The combination of Solid Snake and the IQ there are going to give away all of those pieces of electronic util and their positions as they're holding downstairs. That is a dangerous combo when you know where all of the utility and all the players are at. Honestly, that may be one of the combos here that is going to be a difference maker going into it. But losing the 2 C4s really puts a huge damper here on this Outlast defense. So in the 3v4, it is not over yet. You still have got a little bit of util here in the pocket. Inrio holding on to one, and look at that. Shot upstairs through the floor, catching this vertical play off guard. Great shot.
Yeah, can we just highlight, too, that he had the presence of mind to wait, right? Didn't quite have the shot the first time somebody went past that little area, but he was ready. He knew the second person was coming, and they stop, they take a look, try to smell the roses, and it's a good night, sleep tight. Numbers get equalized here, Run, as we find ourselves in a 3-3 situation. Outlast in their best place to find themselves their first round, but look at all of this intel being provided by Solid Snake right now. This is just honestly unreal. Plant starts to go down, and that's going to be a grenade to over towards the rotate to make sure that you can't push up and stop it. Yeah, here it is. Attackers become defenders. Defenders become attackers. C4 rings out as Mike W is able to find one. Bino gets traded out now into a 2-2 with this post-plant scenario, and they've got to deal with the vertical as well. Starts to go for a little bit of it, has to get off it. Here's the footprints, and that's going to be that vertical pressure, that vertical suffocation is going to find it off the
What a nade!
Now, and he is just going to have to stick it for the win. Just unreal, not even a chance.
Just really well played there from this FootLocker attack. They managed for the 3rd time, I think out of 4 rounds here, to get the diffuser down and force a post-plant scenario. And great vertical coverage, coverage from behind, outside of that main breach, and the nades. The fact that Mike W saved the nades upstairs to be able to toss down through the floor and force the defenders off the diffuser before they could even get close. That pair of nades there won the round for that team. Obviously, having Mike W upstairs is a big piece of it, but the fact that Outlast couldn't retake the vertical there to try and force it as the time was running down certainly worked in their favor. And man, what a start to this thing. 4 in a row for FootLocker. They win it after the timeout, so the timeout buff did not work there for Outlast. They take the pause and can't figure out how to turn this thing around. Day's not over, game's not over, job's not done though, as Outlast gets locked in. And one of these picks on here, love it, my friend, Frozen. Switching off to Tachanka, which didn't work out. I think the plant now with the 3rd yokai here from Frozen and the Echo is going to be the play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good adaptation. Now, whether it's going to be the impact that sees them to their first round or not, maybe, maybe not. What it does show is that they're leaning into understanding what's going on the FootLocker side, right? It's not just, they're not just winning the gunfights, they're getting in and playing protect the president. So you lean into that area denial, but you take the slower operator off the board, give yourself a little bit of intel with the Echo and a chance to deny a plant. This could be a round winner for sure. I love the adaptation here, Run. Now, they've kind of tried to contest for that, right? They brought the Zero and the Twitch and the Dokkaebi along. So all operators, they're going to be focused on not just claiming that intel, not just claiming that space, but getting rid of some of that extension util as well, right? Twitch and Zero going to be able to use those lasers to take some of this stuff down.
And I'm glad Twist was in the right spot, right time there on the main door into the Visa area, is able to take down one of the Twitch drones early. So Bino now is not going to be able to get as much work done, certainly, with the Twitch drones this time. And they're doing a decent job of burning time this round. 1 minute already gone, all 10 left alive. Honestly, feels like we haven't seen that. Oh, geez, there it is. But this time it is Frozen on the other side, wins the battle, takes down Mike W, who's sitting at 8-2, the top frag right now in the entire lobby. That's a huge boost here to the Outlast defense.
Yeah, if we were talking win cons, for sure, part of that is going to get presidential candidate Mike W off the board, right? You got to get him out of there. He is absolutely frying right now, and you give him somebody that with some intel to boot means he's going to have some information to operate on. I think this was a huge first pick. They find themselves with a man advantage. They have all slowed it down, this attack as well, forcing them to open these castle barricades a little bit more of the old-fashioned way, melee style, and it's just eating up time. Run, we're at 1 minute and 11 left.
Yeah, now the problem is that FootLocker has managed to pull off this late round execute and do it very well. So Alice needs to stay vigilant through this and not give up any of this space at this point. So gonna go for the wide swing there, and Candle wins a double. What a play, now putting him in a 5v2, their best opportunity to win a round so far. They gotta hold on though for another 45 seconds, my friend.
Look at him going full Spider-Man through the skylight down and in as well. So in a little bit of a war zone here, the Echo or the Yokai drones are just going off, keeping him solid into the corner here. Look at the find one on the top spiral. Packer with the first answer back, but it gets taken down immediately. It's going to be Candle onto the triple kill. Now it's going to be 5-1 Bino trying to make a swing. Warden goes down as the C4 rings out. His life sustained just a little bit longer. In a good position.
Candle!
It's going to be breaking out barbecue sauce for that 4-piece. Candle just goes absolutely crazy.
4K there for Candle on round 1, gives Outlast the boost that they need, finally found it, and some individual heroics carried them to that point, and they honestly needed it, my friend. We were heading towards a 5-1 or 6-0 half. Holy cow, what a way to start out Swiss in the Challenger Series, and by what a way, I mean a terrible freaking way to start it. So this is the climb back, potentially. FootLocker has put in all the work they needed to, though. Picked up 4 on attack, and all the pressure right now on this Outlast defense. And they respond by heading to the split site.
This is one you talk about all the time, Run, right? One of the most unique maps in Rainbow Six Siege, where it's on 2 separate floors. I love this play, right? If it's me, if I'm IGL, I'm saying, look, let's get a huge vertical. Let's open up the entirety of the floor. Let's let them try to get in and plant, and then let's set the trap. We'll see if that's going to be the case. They definitely have 4 C4s on the board, Run, so it feels like there could be a little bit of an explosive end to this one.
I mean, it's the strategy we saw back on round 4. 4 C4s and a little bit of barbed wire to back it up. That was the Outlast defense util strat, and it looked like it was going to work right up until Candle and Ticey, the same 2 guys on the Valk and the Pulse, go down early. So they've got a very similar setup this time around. So what can they do to make sure that they have got this thing on lockdown? And look at this, the drone identifying where the Cade Claw was. He picks it up, moves it just slightly, hopefully to avoid one of those impacts, getting it up off the ground. So there's that opening pick, and it's the Oryx. Oh, Twist. spawn peeking on the window, trying to play a little bit more aggressively on defense, but not the confidence to win the battle.
Here it is, a lot of intel being provided by Ticey here. He is in the hunt for his first kill as he sits 0-5 currently, and they are throwing everybody his current direction. Opening up a little bit of that vertical as the Hatch Queen is getting some work done, but they've got an isolation over there, Run. A bit of a dangerous situation if he doesn't get out of there. We could see ourselves in a 5-3 very quickly.
Man, that was some expert work there from Packer on the Mav, opening up that hole very quickly and walking right in with no indication there. None of the electricity to shock him at that point. Just good placement and no way. He picks up a double off the silent entry, catches his defense off guard.
Tough one if you're Ticey. 0-6, can't buy a kill. A little bit of a shield bash is going to see a flawless round run. 5-1 on the half, and that feels like a little bit of a statement getting started here on this best of 3.
Not a little bit of a statement, a big statement there from FootLocker. 5-1 with a pair of flawless rounds as well. I mean, Outlast put up a good fight there on that top floor, shut down this team, but it was after they had already played it twice and adapted around that strategy. Downstairs in the basement, unable to find success at all, whether it was the true basement or the split. But man, the silent entry from Packer there really felt like the difference maker. That double is what kicked off a landslide victory there for FootLocker. And all right, first half is done. Experience going a long way here for sure, my friend. Now, there's a little bit of motion on the players' side. We talked about it during this the original kickoff when we were looking at the team cards, but Outlast changing up the members. Zonky no longer on the team, trading up, and then one of the big pickups that they have, who's on a sub role right now, but maybe he's going to see a game or two. Letters on the roster, so I know there's some J Guns and Letters fans out there. He's on this Outlast team and could pick up a game later in the Swiss.
Okay, so hashtag free J Guns, free Lou Letters. That it worked. They're out. They did it. And now they're playing on some sub roles. So Outlast got a chance to bring him in potentially. 5-1 feels like
that is the greatest
obviously it's
moment
a difficult
in my life,
right?
So.
Not just because it's a 5-1. Nobody wants to be in that position, but also it was 5-1 on the attack side, right? Genuinely, we're calling Consulate defender sided for the most part. Hey, pro, 33 months. Thank you so much for the tier 1 homie. But it's also now it gets to put FootLocker onto their defensive side of it, and they ran with some kind of fun operators here, Run. I mean, yeah, you got the Tachanka on the board. If it's in the hands of Mike W, he can do no wrong. So I imagine probably going to do well. But the big highlight for me here is going to be the trip connectors and Volsper also going on to the Thorn, right? Recently reworked. These Thorns are absolutely lethal now.
We have seen it in comp, we've seen it in ranked, we've seen it in casual. Yeah, Thorn making a solid comeback. The biggest pick rate we've seen since before she lost the 1.5, and Bolo went crazy with her during that 2022 season. So glad that she is back, really making an impact at this point. So let's see how Volsper can change up the strat this time around. And yeah, I love the trip connectors. We've seen so many great setups here from the Denari players. And it's been some crazy ones, so continue to advance, continue to get better across the board, and then backed up by Mike W. And you know what? He's got Beano on the other area denial piece and holding on with that shield, but feels like he's in a little bit of a vulnerable spot. Candle is down the stairs. They're opening the spot, making sure that the jump in the window is ready.
That's going to be the big part, right, is pushing that Tachanka out of the way. They're trying to suffocate with information here as drones are everybody. Look at this. Primed and poised here for a potential run out. He hears the sound cue of the rappel. There it is. He jumps out. Finds one.
I thought he was
twist goes down.
You gotta be kidding
He's gonna
me.
take a double dip. He's double dipping. You can't do that, Mike. Or Mike. Packer. Mike W does go down in that exchange. However, he's going to run out again as he's just going to continue to be a menace here from the bottom floor. Frozen gets taken off the board. That's the spearhead done and dusted. So when the dust settles, when the smoke clears, man advantage back into the hands of FootLocker.
What a wild exchange that was. And Packer, you know what? There has got to be some luck involved with that one. Frozen just struggled on the blitz to be able to shut Packer down. The fact that he wins that battle, backs off the engagement, dies to the C4, and what was an epically timed play there from Packer, and the fact that he gets 2 on the run out and still is ready to contest this play, picks up a triple. Man, he is absolutely being a menace to this team, and you know what? This is one of those momentum swings that just is going to carry forward for rounds and potentially games with where he's at right now.
Highlight here, Tyson got his first kill. Now he needs to be perfect for 3 more here, and they take a couple of pre-fires, and unfortunately it's not going to be the case. He's going to get taken down in a thorn gadget to end it, my friend. Huge first play, and we find ourselves on a match point scenario.
Okay. Yeah, really, no one. I don't think anyone expected a runaway at this point because Outlast showed some serious mettle during the open qualifiers and making it this far. We caught him on stream a couple times, but honestly, this has been a runaway at this point. And you know what, Crooked? There was too many good games, bro. We had Team Colt on the stream earlier, and there's a good chance that we're going to get them on later. Trust us. We're going to try and cover as many as we can. But right now, this was FootLocker's map pick. We expected them to come out swinging, start off super strong on attack, and they've carried that momentum forward. I think all Outlast needs at this point, a little bit of a mental reset before getting into map 2, which, damn, I'm drawing a blank. Lair's map 3, NightHaven. Before getting into NightHaven there on map 2, my friend, yeah, that mental reset I think is going to be key because it's like, you know what, we just got to get out of this map quickly, unless they can turn this thing around right now and gain a little bit of momentum of their own. FootLocker, obviously 6 of the last 7 rounds and on fire.
Aang in the chat, all my favorite teams broke up. You know what? Roster Mania was something special this year. And not just something special in the Pro League, but we saw it also in Challenger Series. We saw it also down at the T4 level as well. Everybody looking for a change to get to their path to pro or to continue their Pro League journey. So, yeah, it's a bunch of changes going on. We'll see how it affects the rest of the, not just the, I guess, the series, but also the entirety of your chance to make it in there. Now, we do see onto the defense here. They're going to go down to the basement. They leave that secret area open, and it's going to see Blackbeard just making his way quickly on in. But he's going to run into some problems here because they do have Force the Castle on board, so extension in hand.
Candle's got to be careful here. I know we picked up his big 4K, and he's only managed 3 other kills throughout the entire map. And I was going to say, they've got the sniper shoddy for Mike W covering the entrance there. And yeah, Candle's got the shield. He's able to try and pull this off, but they have distracted. They've given away that opportunity, and now all of the FootLocker team trying to converge over on that secret server side of the map. Can they back off just a little bit and win it? But Mambino is on point, and they lose both of the hard breaches to start this thing off. It's going to have to be a secret push at this point because they're not going to be able to get the main breach open.
Yeah, or anything else, right? No can openers either. They finally get a little bit of a trade back. Bino finds 1 before getting taken down, so main advantage by 1 now into the hands of FootLocker. Still 1:31, so really just got to hold out here onto the defense. It's going to be up to Twists and the Spearhead to get this one done, right? Going to have to play together, and they're going to be looking to take Twist down first.
I mean, yeah, looking to take him down. I mean, then you can go into a 2v1 or a 3v1 against the shield as the opportunity. But Candle playing the Blackbeard can be very devastating if he's the guy that manages to stay alive. So, what do they got in pocket? 2 C4 still. Volsper and Mike W still both have a C4. So, there is a huge danger lurking for this Outlast attack. And Twist tries to make the play. And they have paired up at this point, and they don't even need the C4 as the DMR is going to win that battle.
Okay, all up to twist now, and unfortunate. You'd called the sniper shotty out as a force to be reckoned with, and Run, that's what finishes this one off. It was a devastating first map as the GGs rang out in the all chat. 7-1 to start us.
Man, what a play there. Bino on top, comes out big. I mean, ends up at, even though he was not the top frag on that team, really felt like he was one of the more impactful players across the map. Man, what a game. Now, all right, maybe a little bit of a sleeper. Maybe that was a little bit one-sided. Outlast ready to come back. A mental reset in play, my friend. And it is time for map 2 because it's a best of 3, not one and done. And for Swiss, right, we're going to see 5 rounds over the course of this weekend. Round 1 tonight, 2 tomorrow, 3 and 4 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday. We didn't get a chance to talk about that earlier. So the next 4 days are going to define who makes it into the playoffs. Top 8 move on, my friend. But map 1 in the books.
That's right. Got to get through this first best of 3 to find yourself at the end phase for that one. Playoffs incoming potentially. We'll see how it goes for map number 2. Sit back, relax, because when we come back, it's the NightHaven map. Ayo.
Let's go.
Already just delaying.
What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. Okay, map number 1 was a bit of a blowout, right? And you know what? It happens. Maybe it wasn't their map pick. Run, we head to NightHaven next, and we know that this one can be absolutely competitive. We've seen Outlast before be competitive on this specific map. I think we can see ourselves a bit of a game here.
So we saw a bit of a blowout. 7-1, but it wasn't the biggest blowout so far on map 1 of the Swiss. There was a 7-0 with F5, unfortunately, losing that battle. So I think that was Team Colt that was playing them. Team Colt, hold on 2 seconds. Nope, that wasn't. It was In Control, smoking F5, 7-0 to start this thing off. So 7-1 wasn't the biggest blowout. But now we're on to map 2, and this is NightHaven Labs. One of our favorite maps. Both of us agree that love this map, my friend. And this one is looking like a very good one. And I think it's going to be significantly more competitive. Outlast has had their opportunity there to lose dramatically. And now it's time for a comeback. And we all love a comeback story.
That's right? The Cinderella, the one that everybody said couldn't be done. They've got to get it done this time on NightHaven. And I think probably going to see some similar bands coming out for that one run, right? The Glazes, it proved to be a huge part. Maybe a little bit of a Mav coming out for that. But this is the one where you could see that other side of the bands coming out with that breach denial and stuff. It's going to be spicy no matter what, because Outlast, they're going to have to get this one done starting on the attack side. Can be a little bit difficult with the well-coordinated defense on NightHaven.
Now, one of the things I love about the fact that the timing of this all, right? We got to see all of the open games on the old season. Swiss here is starting off on the new season on, what is this, day 3 of the new season, and these guys are going to have to play this way in Salt Lake. They have got to be ready for it, so they better freaking do it now in a Challenger Series to pull it off, my friend, and it's time for NightHaven.
Absolutely. Okay, NightHaven quickly replaced Border when it came out as my favorite map ever. It just has so much variety to it, and even when you ban what you think should be the targeted ops going into this, there's another way, there's another strat, there's another area or avenue that you can get in and get active. So I'm excited. The ban's gonna be the big storyteller here. Run, who you think we're gonna see taken off the board first? No surprises on the gram, at least.
No, not surprising there. And wondered whether or not we would see again. Is this a map where we see Twitch go down? Is the mirror going to be important enough that they want to try and keep it up and ban out the Twitch as the alternative? Or is one of the hard breaches, but they already banned the Grim? That could mean that the Ying goes down because, you know what, the chaos causing agents, too much of a pain in the neck to deal with. But man, you talked about it. Glaz, my friend. Man, we're not even going to get to see him again.
Yeah, it's tough. I think we're going to be seeing that a lot more run because he's just such a great operator. How in the world do you combat somebody who can see through smoke and can one tap efficiently? Yeah, I know you got the warden on the board as well to maybe make up for that, but sometimes it just feels like it's not enough against that DMR. And so, yeah, you got to get him off the board. And then the Grim to follow it up means they're really starting to make sure that they don't have intel on the other side of it. Now, with the defensive bans run, with getting the breach to NAL, which we said could be a possibility here, you have to leave a couple of big ones on the board when you do that. And the problem here, if you're Outlast, is that Mike W is on the Mira and Volsper is on the Azami.
Ooh, good question there. I mean, J-Guns, is he playing? Yes, picked up by one of the teams. Did he already play? The thing about Swiss is there are 8 games going on simultaneously, all 16 teams playing right now. So the problem is we can't cover them all, and there was so many good games to be covered. We will absolutely get Jay on the stream. You know, the thing about it was Letters. He was picked up by Outlast as a sub. We thought maybe there's a chance we'd see him here tonight as well, but no, likely to join this Outlast team in one of the future maps. So this is, it's fantastic that, you know what, out of chaos, out of tragedy, came a little bit of success now as we got to see a few of these different players that were part of that team come out. And look at this, they go for the late round mirror trick on the main breach. Outlast nails the timing on that, though, as they get the breach open and force FootLocker into a little bit more of a defensive posture away from the main breach in IT.
Yeah, huge play there to be able to get that opened up easily with that Mira still there. That bit of a miss here if you're a FootLocker fan for sure. And yeah, would be cool to see Letters, right? We try to highlight and showcase anybody from that those Jinxieverse tournaments that we were casting early on before Stompin had his meteoric rise to the Pro League and G2. So yeah, we're not able to see it just yet tonight. They're going to take a couple of shots here, though, as the Candelas and the Deimos ring in. It's trapped in the corner, and this is going to be Silo seen taken down and then confirmed. Ticey this time not waiting 6 rounds to get his first kill, although he will have to wait a little bit longer for his second.
Okay, you know what? Not a bad place to start. Significantly better than his play there on Consulate. That has got to give him a little bit of a boost here. As now this time tied up, and look at that, the magnet hits, but the Ying Candela still works. Thought maybe we'd see the Ying band out if they went for the Grim, but she's going to survive and cause a little bit of chaos here. The Mirror, though, still locked in, and Twist. See him now focused on trying to get this mirror window open, and look at that. Packer was freaking ready for it. Watching, waiting, and losing that. The Incandela comes out just too late to try and keep that alive.
Oh, no. Frozen on tech ain't going to be able to push him out as he just gets absolutely deleted even through the Candela's tough. Give him a second one. Presidential candidate Mike W on for the double. Now as it is a 4v2, a 4v1, excuse me. And look at that. Does get the answer back. Now he was but a bullet. You got 3 more to get this one done, and a couple of smokes going to start to slow down that process.
If anyone can pull this off, Inrio has got the opportunity here, but look at this. A proned and owned Packer is having a hell of a night here to start this thing off. He feels like he has been right place, right time, guard in the mirror, shutting down the Twitch drones, playing in some of those rat spots, and just right now being an absolute menace to the Outlast attack this time around the defense. Finds one upstairs on that second floor. It's the defensive stronghold, though. All right, so is the basement. So right now, this is the big question. Oh, I was about to say pause. Never mind. We're good. Let's go.
Never mind, and then never mind again. They figured it out. They got it. We're ready. It's solid. Defense finds their first run, and they do it with a bit of an advantage there towards the end of it. Means we're going to go down to the tank assembly side of things, and we're going to see Thorn coming back on board. I love the Thorn pick, honestly. It's been so fun. I mean, we watched our homie Karma play it like a ton before it was the cool thing to do. Now we're going to have some strats to be able to back that one up.
Same,
Heyo,
man.
Div.
Absolutely
Thank you.
love it. And appreciate it. Partner push was successful. Appreciate everybody that's joined us here for this one. I love the fact that we're getting to bring Challengers Series one more time to the community. Spent an awful lot of time on. We said it at the end of the last cast. This is our 136th official Blast community cast since we started more than 2 years ago. Every single play day except for 2 since March of 2024.
Man, there's a little bit of longevity there, my friends. We appreciate everybody who's been a part of that process the entire time. And another celebration tonight. We just hit our 8,300th follower as we just crested that tonight. So thank you so much on the path to 10,000. Look at this run. They're going to start getting in. We might be looking for a bit of a Jinxie C4 here. We were just talking about that verse, or the Jinxie verse earlier on. We'll see if Silo can channel his inner Jinxie and land that one.
Yeah, that's been a place that he loved to hold on to that C4, toss it outside that electrical window, but it's going to hold for a moment more as that first minute of gameplay goes down, and it's been a little bit of chaos upstairs, focused on that second floor. It's pretty spread out here from the FootLocker defense, and right now feels like it is working, slowing down Outlast, and Mike W with a wall bang to take down Ticey, man. He is going to be frustrated by that play. Thankfully, Packer going down as Candle can answer back in a big way and stop the reign of terror that Packer had been bringing to this game overall. But the problem is, my friend, a minute 34, minute 30 at this point, man, moving slowly on this attack, and they got to step it up. This is a basement defense, and they've got to make that transition down to the basement floor.
Yeah, and the big problem is we still haven't even cleared out. Well, okay, Silo now makes his way down to the first floor as well, so a heavy investment into that first floor Pleasant. But I'm saying we haven't even taken him off the second floor yet, so look like they might be going a little bit more potential site direct as they're over on the kitchen side of things, looking down towards the stairs now. Yeah, he might take a quick peek at it. Defense, they're doing a great job of just stalling this one out.
Yeah, it was very successful. And you still take a look at it, right? 48 seconds from a defensive side on FootLocker. They still have 2 players upstairs on the first floor. They're still holding on to lounge, still holding on to its storage. And look at that. The C4 just passes right by his face, survives the shot, but then Bino from in the basement plays the vertical better and puts us in a 1v3. Mike W. in Rio there, the last left alive. He's got 1. How about 2 to carry this thing forward?
Okay, well, now into a good old-fashioned 1v1 run. Outlast in a good position to find their first round. He's got a bunch of health, couple of quick peeks. Thorn's going to take a little bit of damage, but able to escape down to the other side. Plant now starting to happen. 6 seconds left, and he's going to have to stick this. He's in oh, he gets off of it just in time. I don't think he's going to be able to pull this one off, my friend. Yeah, has to make the swing. He can't really follow it up. Tough play. Defense going to find another.
Man, FootLocker on fire, but honestly, that thing got close once again, but pros don't fake, says Mike W. Man, he's just stealing our lines tonight because, yeah, pros don't fake. The problem is, you know what? That was a tough call, right? Do you hold on for the final seconds? Do you allow the attacker to get that kill? Can you hop off the diffuser in those final seconds? He needed to wait 2 more seconds there to make sure that the defender hopped through to get into that vault prompt, and maybe he would have been able to pick him off. And FootLocker picks up a double. Solid play off the back of an incredible roam game. Tons of time wasted upstairs on the second floor. Time wasted on the first floor. C4 is coming in handy, but then shooting up through the floor, playing the vertical just a little bit better. And Outlast on the back foot again and now working to adapt. FootLocker making the full ground rotate, giving us first floor storage control and what I think is the best opportunity Outlast has had so far, at least in terms of site pick, to be able to try and pick up a win.
All right, 2-0 start. Still a little bit of a high-pressure situation if you're Outlast, right? Collectively, between the 2 maps, right? They've won one site so far. So the pressure to get that next one, especially in this very first bit of round rotate, extremely high. So they're bringing out the Ram, they're bringing out a couple of cheese ops with Candelas on board. It's a little bit of traditional meets contemporary siege here. They're going to take space and do it with authority. This is that push we saw kind of out of Stomping, except for they haven't taken any vertical yet.
They need to work that part, and look at this, a little bit of a direct downstairs. Inrio is there. He's sitting at 3-1 right now. That's the guy, but look at this. How many players do we have upstairs on that second floor from this FootLocker D? We're at 3 of them right now, and the fact that Valk's holding onto the cargo stairs could make that rotate, but look at this. Overpeak! Candle punishes him for taking down Volspur. That's a huge play. The problem is they have lost an awful lot of life so far at this point. They're going to open up that wall, make the play a little bit easier this time around, and 5-stack on the Outlast attack side. They need to get moving to clear out this space upstairs and force FootLocker into a little bit more of a defensive posture, my friend.
Okay, yeah, but they're still stalling out time fairly effectively, right? They've got that vertical presence still established, and they've got it established both on the top and the bottom. Still going to have Packer in place to get that C4 finish should they get through that first layer of defense there. So this next pick going to be absolutely huge. C4 rings out, not able to find one. There it is, the equalizer, as Mike W prophetically looks behind him and grabs himself a kill, now into a 4-4 scenario.
As we're sitting 1 minute left as the clock starts to tick down. You said it, 4-4 and still a ton of time upstairs on the second floor. Silo is backed off, holding on to the top of those fish stairs. And right now, Outlast droning. They need to try and find the opportunity here. And I mean, you still have got Packer holding on to that C4, playing downstairs, ready to be spoiler. Look at that. He's moved downstairs to tank. Boy, huge roam game here coming out, and he's going to be able to catch them off guard at the last second because they are fully focused on the second floor right now. Nobody watching out for that basement play, and Silo going to push back up Fish to once again hold on. 30 seconds left. Outlast, come on, get this thing going, my friends.
Yeah, this is going to be huge, especially if he goes unsussed out. They've got the potential to stop the plant, and they've got the potential to stop the vertical if the plant is allowed to go down, if the C4 misses. So, honestly, this is a big play out of FootLocker here, and neither one of them being sussed out could spell absolute disaster. Blackbeard now going to start to go for the plant. 9 seconds left. He doesn't have much of a choice, and look at this. Oh, no. Good night. Sleep tight. Sent to the heavens. Packer underneath. Vertical reigns supreme, and FootLocker's going to find themselves another roll. Round. Roll.
Well, right now their role is steam roller, if we got to, try and find the right word for it, because, yeah, they're on a roll, and Outlast is just struggling at this point. The C4 from down below, we talked about Packer in the basement, playing the Valk, C4 in pocket, closes out the round as predicted. The problem is we got access to way more information than the attackers do, and right now that is holding them back. What can they do to gain some more intel on this team to try and work at deny? So it feels like they've got 2 main problems, right? Not clearing this defense fast enough because they're playing very fast, very loose, and right now it feels like they're not able to counter the intel that FootLocker has on them. So would love to see the roam clear operators start to make a big push out here, right? Do we need to see a Lion? Do we need to see... I was gonna say, oh yeah, Dokkaebi is available. They could make that play because now the cheese ops are all gone. That gives Outlast plenty of opportunity to try and play those roam clear operators. So Twist looks like gonna show the Dokkaebi for a sec, but I'd love to see them maybe pick into another to try and counter the way that FootLocker's playing. They're going to be a little bit more condensed, obviously, on the second floor site, but you know what? If they go for one of those first floor plays downstairs, Packer still has got a C4 in hand. Imagine he's going to be up in your face playing the Warden, though, so Outlast has got a little bit to worry about.
Yeah, interesting. You see him play one of 2 ways, right? Either locked in on that Aqua side with a shield, or down below with a C4 to boot. So they do get the mirror off the board. I think, Run, that was honestly the best pick out of what was still available, because she has just proved to be that time torch for this Outlast team. So yeah, they get Mira gone. They don't have the Candelas to work with, so I mean, pick your poison on that one. You can still bring your shield and be that Chaos Agent. You can still bring the, well, not the Grim. He's gone too. They're getting a lot of the cheese ops off the board here.
Yeah, it's going to make it a little bit easier there for this for the FootLocker team to try and play that little bit spread out roam game, right? They're not worried so much about Outlast opening up the sightlines. They've been doing that consistently, constantly, and they're not worried. Let them open it up, because right now they are just playing a better positional siege. They don't have to worry about the fundamental part of the way that this is working. They just feel like they're playing better right now no matter where the engagements are happening. So Twitch there. Twist is going to work on clearing some of this defensive utility upstairs to give them the freedom to push in, but honestly, FootLocker, they're not over-peaking right now, holding on, and some of those key power positions that they struggled with previously still in hand for the FootLocker D.
Now, they did get some of that, some of those trip connectors off the board already, so some value to be had with the Twitch drone, but speaking of, they're going to... It's going to be Silo taking that first one off the board. Candle goes down, and that's going to send him to a 3-3. And now is Zombie going to be under a bit of heat here. Now is tucked down low, looking to try to capitalize, and does. Volsper with a huge play, unsussed out as the Monty made his way up, and that's going to find a couple of kills. Packer able to take Enrio off the board, now into a 5-2 scenario, and feels like a very familiar situation run for this Outlast team, as they're just getting outmatched at this moment.
Yeah, a bit of a struggle here, and yeah, Justin, I mean, this is the path to pro. This is not Pro League yet, but it is as close as you can get. Challenger Series is where the players and the teams find their way into Pro League through the promotion relegation system. 49 seconds left, though, and they got to try and find, you know what, give us a round at this point to make this thing close. Otherwise, Outlast starting off Swiss on the back foot. And that's where we're at here as it comes down to that final 38 seconds. Just now gaining a little bit of space on the IT side, but unfortunately, man, Mike W's gadget's still in play.
Yeah, that was tough. Had a potential shot there, but the Fenrir gadget just makes it a little bit more devastating. No diffuser in hand. They're going to smoke it and start to push in so they get a little bit of space. Instead, it's going to be through the rotate. Puts pressure onto these zombie. Twist going to get the second kill now as the double rings out. 14 seconds left, but not able to get the job done. Oh, man. Monty goes down. It looked like there was a bit of hope there for the isolation, but then they just end up finishing that one off, and that's going to be a perfect 4-0 start on map number 2 for FootLocker.
Okay, pretty similar strategy, or at least we'll call it the storyline of the game at this point, because FootLocker goes up 4-0 to start map 1, and they close that thing out 7-1 on Consulate to start it off. Yeah, we see you asking. That's a good question. 7-1 victory for FootLocker, and they put on a show on Consulate. And a big piece of that we thought initially was that was FootLocker's map pick. Right, we expected them to come out super strong on Consulate in this best of 3. We finally made it into the BO3s at this point in Swiss, but coming into NightHaven said, all right, this is Outlast map pick. We expected them to be stronger, and right now it is not shown up that way. They're struggling to get anything going on their attack, right? Unable to deal with the roam game that FootLocker's been bringing out and the information game that they have been playing very well against this team. So, as it comes down to it, on the previous map, we saw Outlast win round 5 on the second floor in a very convincing way on Consulate. So, we'd love to see that come out here. The start of the climb, start of the claw back from this team, and they showed Lion for just a second. He hops off the board, so it's just going to be Candle this time again on the roam clear. And you take a look at where is FootLocker playing? All 3 floors. Pressure from everywhere from this team, so they're following a very defined game plan. Outlast has got to be expecting this, and they've got to play better around it this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what do you, man, we're talking adaptations here. Man, could just be an isolation, right? They get the right intel. I think could be an absolute huge push. And look at this. They get in and they start to make a push. Thorn Gadget goes off, which is going to indicate some speed here to the defender sitting up top, knowing that they're already making their way in, but they're just holding. The cut route is set potentially. Drone goes off. He's now got the info that he's sitting on pillar. You can put a couple of people towards that goal. A little bit of damage towards Mike W, but Packer's able to find it. Volsper answers back.
You gotta be kidding me!
And it just collapses for Outlast again. 2 minutes left, and again, it's all going to be up to Ticey and Frozen. Oh, man. Tough push. They're doing the right things, right? They're checking all of the boxes. Except for finding that isolation kill or finding that first entry kill. They're getting in the right spot. They're having the cut route set. They're pushing multiples towards it, and just end up Wolfsburg good for a multi-kill, and that's going to make a huge difference. Frozen now 0-4. He's going to sit outside for a second. Maybe a little bit of that faux timeout.
Yeah, time to just pause at this point because for sure, uncharacteristic here from this Outlast team. We saw significantly better out of them coming in at the open stage at this point, and not sure what's going on with this team. You talked to them before the game started. They felt very confident, and honestly, you could sense that confidence coming into this game. But FootLocker right now just seems to have an answer for everything. And Outlast, I got to believe that there's a little bit of mental cracking. It'd be tough even at the Pro League stage to try and fight through going down this hard in a best of 3. Because right now, honestly, FootLocker is 2 rounds away from closing out the best of 3 and winning round 1 of Swiss, and what is one of the more dominant performances I think we're going to see over the course of today, all the way to the point that we may be able to pick up a map 3 from one of the other best of 3s with plenty of time.
Wow, huge. And, unfortunately, if you're an Outlast fan, you know that this isn't indicative of how it goes down. Sometimes you just got a bad day. Sometimes the other team just playing better. You got to find that adaptation. And what does it look like for him this time? Trying to find there first? Well, it's going to be Frozen onto the Blitz this time instead of the Monty. A little bit quicker, a little bit more in your face. But I think the big part going to be that lurk role being fulfilled here by Candle in the Nook.
I love that play. It's a change-up in the way that this is playing out. This time, Twist going to switch onto that line. So they brought along a couple of DMRs here. But you said it. Candle on the Nook is that opportunity to try and catch this FootLocker team off guard. And once again, heavy roam game here from this team. Second floor, you've got 3 upstairs at this point, and Silo's playing on those on the cargo stairs, easily able to rotate back down to the basement. Packer running over on the kitchen side. He still has got one of the Thorn gadgets in pocket too, so he can cause some chaos here for this defense before they even get going. And look at that. The Thermite's going to open, and it does not go down. It's not a G2 disaster on the main IT wall as Mike W holds on. And look at this. Unafraid. Oh, I was going to say, no way he gets misdroned here. Does he?
No, he doesn't. He does take a couple of shots, and he's just not going to go away from the fight. He sends a C4 out. He almost gets connected with it, but instead they get the down, but it's answered back immediately as Frozen gets traded. Wolfsburg gets the kill on it, and that does equalize this into a 4-4. Minute and 45 left. They're going to take a quick swing. Wolfsburg just not to be moved. He's just an immovable force, my friend. They find themselves another kill and man advantage back into their hands.
Okay, my friend, minute 30 at this point. FootLocker about to put up a flawless defensive half here on NightHaven. It's a little bit of a defensive-sided map in the current siege. The problem is we're starting on day 3 of the new season. There is a ton of balancing changes that have happened. I don't think we've got a good idea yet which way the maps are going to go. And right now, it doesn't matter. Whichever side FootLocker is starting on, that's what sided this map is. The other teams in this Challenger Series are going to have to be on notice for this team.
Demo's ping is revealing somebody tucked away into the corner. That's going to be Packer. He's been unmovable as well. They're going to take a couple of shots from the stairs, and he does get the movement, but unfortunately, the duo play is there to stop him from being able to make the push up. So, twice now towards this back breach area, looking to find another kill to get to that equalization point, but they still have to deal with the vertical above. Can make the drop down if necessary. They're watching for the potential walk down Aqua Stairs, so they've got a sense that he's there for sure. It's not exactly where he's holding. Huge play. Twist is able to find one.
Let's go.
Takes Packer off the board. Now they claim that man advantage. Now they're in a position to get themselves a plant going down, and no C4 this time to stop them in that process. Last one is above, and that's going to be the plant starting to go down. A little bit of intel. Well, I guess not, as he's just randomly trying to get through the floor. There it is. Oh, almost finds finds one run, but it's a post-plant scenario, and Outlast best chance to find themselves around. Look at this. They're all going up to push him out of this.
They have to at this point. Yeah, get upstairs to try and clear this space, but Ticey holding onto that Deimos, running the shoddy this time. They have got this plant protected. Zylo's going to try and get it. Goes for the long arm through the door. Do they know? Do they realize? I was going to say, no way he gets this off and sends it to match point, does he? That was way too close to call.
Man, my heart can't take that. I thought he was about to sneak away with it, and so we find ourselves history repeating itself. 5-1 as Outlast is able to secure their first. But if you're an Outlast fan, rejoice. It's now on to the defense.
Don't call it a comeback, man. We've been here for years. Now it is time to see what they can do on defense, but honestly, FootLocker has put up a hell of a match so far. They have been on fire, right place, right time, around the board, and playing confidently. You can see that out of Mike W. Same as we saw him play on, man, the Freaky Frogs as they won the Spoit Invitational that we got to be a huge part of up in Toronto at the Shopify Rebellion headquarters. I want to see that same kind of, play come out of this team, and they're looking to show it here, to put a huge stake in the ground for this team going into the Challenger Series playoffs. So it is 5 rounds of Swiss. That standard upper, lower round Swiss, and we're going to get a chance to pull that up in the future here, but check it out on Liquipedia as well. It's got all of the details. Challenger Series, the winner of the playoffs is to make it into the NAL as part of the relegation promotion system that they introduced last year. So, yeah, a couple of great teams waiting in the playoffs to decide who is it going to be. 8 teams making it forward.
Sort of a similar ban line here as we make the op swap for the side switch. On the defensive side of it, they're going to get the Bandit and the Cade taken off the board. So Walls, a foregone conclusion. They're going to get those things opened up. And then on the attacking side of it, sticking the Grim pick again. He's just so vital in that he can give you so much information when you're making those last-minute collapses on the site. And then good old-fashioned thermite, get him out of there. We're going to make sure that a little bit tougher to get those walls opened, even though we don't have the Bandit and the Cade.
Yo, Red, what's happening, man? Boy, our GOAT from casting those Roller Sunday tourneys in the Jinxieverse. Love all the intel he was able to provide on the scene, my friend.
Yeah,
and you know what? On Outlast, one of the main guys from some of those games, Letters, Lou, just waiting to see his opportunity here, picked up by the Outlast team as part of their Substack, and J Guns also making it onto the Fury of Frogs. So looking to see what they can do. Right now, they picked up 7-4 victory over Allen Esports over on Cards' channel, putting up a dominant 5 rounds in a row on that match. So they are looking good as well, my friends. And that was J Guns top fragging with 13.
Sheesh, yeah, you said it. The J Guns, free J Guns hashtag worked. The Save Siege hashtag worked. Now I put out a hashtag run and follow me on this. Bring back cooking nades. Let's try to invoke the magic here, chat.
You know what? They showed it during Wildcard, man. They showed it, and you know what? Glitter went crazy with the nade cooking. I know there were some fans of it out in the chat, and that was one of my favorite events that they brought out. That brought a little bit of fun into a Rainbow Six Siege, and you know what? Even though we still have a great time on this game, that brought a little something extra that we love as part of the content creator stack. So appreciate everybody again joining us here. That final minute 10, FootLocker trying to send this thing onto match point scenario. Outlast on defense has got it locked down, but we're into the final minute. 10 left alive at this point, and nobody giving an inch except for, a little bit of a trade coming out with Ticey coming out on top over top Silo.
Yeah, huge, right? They are able to take down Silo off the board, means no more air jabs. Now, quick look towards the pillar is going to see some damage, but not quite enough yet. Fire's going to force some movement. Packer's able to take Frozen down. The collapse on the site starting to happen now. He's still got and tucked into the corner. So as the smoke canisters ring out, they're going to look to put some pressure onto him specifically. Candle's able to take Volsper off the board, and a low health scenario here for the attack, but they find that man advantage yet again. Warden waiting. Warden just potentially going to have the play here, but the smokes are going to clear up. Means he's going to have to get out of that critical position. Now puts them into a 3-2. Plant starting to go down off the pillar. There is a C4 in hand, but you got to get close enough to be able to lock it, and they're not going to be able to do it as he gets taken off the board. The trade from presidential candidate Mike W. now puts us into a 1v2 post plant. Candle, can he keep the flame alive as he's trying to keep him off that match point scenario? He's going to have to push in. The cross is set, so it's looking for a double swing. Shoot, pivot, shoot, not going to be enough. FU from the F2 as they claim a match point scenario.
Man, we talked about this the F2 being the gun, being that weapon for this new season, and Packers showing up in a big way on that final round, or the first round of the second half. And you said it, match point as FootLocker goes up, and right now Outlast has avoided the sweep on both maps, so this is not a tragic, devastating loss for them. They showed a couple moments. The problem is not anywhere near good enough there for what we needed to see in Challenger Series Swiss stage. So all of the all of the chaos of the open quals is gone. They're locked in. Prep time. They knew their opponent for the past couple days at this point, and FootLocker has studied up and absolutely freaking locked in. The problem is they got to wait until tomorrow. After all the matches are done today for Swiss, we'll get to see those seedings, and we will be back again here tomorrow, 6 p.m. to kick off round 2 of Swiss here on the Siege Double Shot. We'll be looking for which game we want to pick up after those matches seed, and you know what, again, we said it earlier, no bad games out here, and so we're going to find out who is sitting on top and who is going to be struggling near the bottom at the end of the day today.
Man, that yellow downstairs in the for the tank assembly site is so jarring. What a crazy switch up of color and light. I like it. It feels more menacing down in the basement. Defense, they're looking to keep this alive and a potential to see a map number 3. Got to get through a couple of rounds. I think we're in the perfect for 5 scenario now to bring this one back, or they're looking at double 7-1s. And to do so, they brought along some extension util here, right? Castle on board, meaning they can hold on to that first floor fairly heavily, and they're going to force them go all the way up to the second as well. You can see the attack's just going to get in and just make quick work of all this util. Oh, man, perfect 3 for 3 on the Goyos.
10 seconds to clear out all of that defensive utility, and he's going to pick up the next one holding onto the single wall. Animus, Goyo as well, so he's going to lose all of that utility very quickly. The Twitch is such an important part of this attack, but Twist, what a shot onto Silo. That's what they needed here. They're going to lose the roam clear operator and give Outlast a little bit of freedom to move around, and Ticey upstairs on that second floor is going to be the guy. Right now, it feels like FootLocker is playing a little bit more sight direct there, trying to find one of these players without overly committing upstairs to the second floor. Hey, this feels good, and look at this. The ace charge misses, and Monty locked into the kitchen. He's going to have to redirect now with the ace charge lost. W play there.
Yeah, not even misses. That was Candle with an impact trick, just having the presence of mind, knowing it's an important push spot, and they keep it closed up. Huge play. It's going to force them to take the scenic route and potentially do another avenue to attack in here, which is going to be a huge time torch. So Monty throws the shield on his back, giving him a little bit more of a silent approach to wherever he's going. But man advantage here with just over 60. Does get equalized. Packers able to take Ticey off the board.
On freaking fire, man.
I know, he's having a game, 10-3. Absolutely huge. The T2 warlord that is Packer, the gatekeeper, some have called him. He's going to find himself another kill. Volsper goes down, however, as the man advantage goes back into the hands of Outlast. They find it in a 4-3 scenario and a little bit of a push down. Mike W is able to take down Inrio. Number's going to be equalized again, and with 30 seconds left, it starts to get a little bit desperate here for FootLockers. They're able to find one. Plant starts to go down, but he's got to find himself to a better spot, and look at that. Packer again finds Twist's head, takes one down, and now with 22, they're going to just have to put some direct pressure on it, and that's going to be Candle taken off the board now into a 1v2. A low hell scenario for the Monty. Frozen,
Packer.
the only one to keep them
Packer's
alive,
the
and
guy!
he's perfect for the
He's
two.
the man!
Plan's starting to go down. He's going to start to make his way over. They've got a little bit of intel. He's looking for that second. He has to make both swings at the same time, and now it's a fully shielded Monty and a absolutely devastating 12-3 Packer that you have to get through to get the job done. No impacts, no C4s. Forces the movement. Is going to take another look, but oh man, unfortunately this just feels like disaster has written here on this match point scenario. We're going to have to see something absolutely perfect. Ring around the rosy as they look towards the pillar, but Packer gonna pack one again. GG's in the all chat as FootLocker just has an incredibly dominant performance in the first of the best of threes.
Packer goes 4 kills on the final round. CL4L, Challenger League for life. As the man comes up big, and what a play. 13 kills to close this thing out. Matches J-Gun's incredible performance on their game, and man, FootLocker comes out swinging in the opening play here from the Challenger League Swiss stage, and man, what a great one, my friend. If you're an Outlast fan, it's not the end of the road. Got to lose 3 in order to be out of Swiss entirely. The problem is you get to start in the middle of the pack there tomorrow, or on the low side, so man, FootLocker, what else can we say about the team that feels like they are absolutely locked in right now?
It's just, honestly, yeah, that's the only way to put it. They have become quickly one of the teams to beat here, and they just showed why, right? Outlast is not a bad team. They are a great team of people who have great chemistry, who have been around together with each other for a really long time. So to 7-1 both times, that just speaks of a different caliber of playstyle that they brought today. So one of the teams to beat, yeah, you heard it, FootLocker. Watch out.
Yeah, for sure. We have to be talking about them early on as one of the favorites here to pick it up. So we did talk about it, right? In Control did a 7-0 versus Team Colt, and they had an incredible open series run as well. So you're going to get a chance to see how that goes. But based on what we saw out of FootLocker against a very good Outlast team, they looked like they had an answer and were prepped for everything. And Packer, man, the F2. Vertical grip, makes a comeback, and it shows up in a big way on day 1 of Challenger Series.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew that was going to be a big factor, and we're happy to see it for sure. You know, a little bit a nod towards nostalgia with that one, as we're seeing Twitch become the force to be reckoned with, and also Solid Snake. That man, that probably might get a little bit of a nerf at some point, because that seemed incredibly OP. They used it very effectively, and of course was part of the reason that led to that first 7-1 that we watched on Consulate.
Yeah, that's right, my friend. Now, here it is. We went through those maps so quickly that there's a good chance we might be able to pick up a map 3 from one of the other games, right? Because we didn't get to have all of the games covered today. They're all going on at the same time. Right now, Fury of Frogs is up 3-0 over Allen Esports after J-Guns absolutely dominated map 1 there with 13 kills, matching Packer's incredible performance on the final one. So I think we'll take a quick break, set up and see what we can get from a Challenger Series side, my friend. And right now, there's a lot of great action happening. So we will be right back, and we'll take you to the Fury of Frogs there just for a moment.
Yo.
Let's go.
Down, but there is going to be an answer back as Exa takes him down from that vert. Silent having it all to do. He did get 1 in this round. He needs 2 more to at least get this victory and stop Allen Esports from getting their first round on the board. The diffuser has been grabbed, and again he's planting in this off spot, in this off location. The question mark is, do they have the intel? Do they have any idea where this bomb is going down? The answer is going to be no, as Silent now gets it down post plant situation, and we're looking at if Allen Esports can play together, play this perfectly, and try and now figure out where this final player is. The ping does go out. They know about his roundabout area as a C4 going to be thrown, going to be dropped. But again, look at the time, 25 seconds. Remember, it's a 7-second defuse timer as the swing round. Exa trying to find him as they no idea. Silent gets him, but it's an instant refrag. Good teamwork together as Exa gets that final pick, and he has enough time to defuse, so Allen Esports do indeed get their first round on the board.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to start from somewhere. Obviously, a couple of early rounds there didn't look great. You saw pretty much everything going right for the group, but you won a site, and more importantly, it was well done. You know, you're getting trades. I think that it's an uptick from here. You can't really, I think, say to a group like Allen Esports that they're going to have too many, bad rounds. We obviously saw a couple of mistakes, but once again, the rounds were close at most points. But obviously, there was one flawless, but I still have a lot of hope for the group, and I honestly think a comeback can be in the cards. But more importantly, they do at minimum, I think, got to win these next two, because trying to go into the attack with a disadvantageous situation is already going to be hard. But if you can get an even, if you can get a 3-3, I think there's still a lot of hope for the team.
Definitely, I have to agree with that, but it's still going to be hard. I feel like both of these teams have really profited on that attack. I think I've been impressed by both attack. I think Fury just that little bit more, because their attacks just seem a little bit more convincing. That last, it really did feel like a Hail Mary from on, like they just went for that slight direction. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And you also saw the quick hatch drop. They go for the plant in the opposition, doesn't work out. But even then, it did come down to that 1v1. It did come down to those very, very tight margins. So it's not like Fury 4. They went for that crazy kind of direct sight hit play, and it went down to that 5v1 advantage for Allen Esports. No, it came down to a 1v1. It came close, and Fury Frog still looking impressive, even in attacking rounds where they lose.
Yeah, and we also just saw another result that has not come in, but I would expect it to do very quickly. We see Valhalla up 6-3 against Empyrean of Man. That one will likely finish itself out pretty quick here. We'll keep you updated when that one does officially hit the ringer. We do officially see the final score for Valhalla, but we got to minimum see what comes from this one here. As Fury Frogs do have themselves a very lengthy advantage, but we got to obviously see more and more. Can they hold it? And, is that one round going to stop the momentum that much? I personally don't think so, but obviously we've seen it before where teams can get one round and then we can really see a snowball start to form. I just certainly don't think so. I feel like we've seen a lot of experience from Franklin and the group. I trust his group to handle, one round fine and still be, still feel like a really, really good team.
Yeah, definitely. As they've been able to get a lot of this bottom green control. Look at the lineup, by the way. You see the Thermite, you see the Sense, which tells me they want to go for this green side ISO. They roll the Sense gadgets through. They use it to not only conceal the plant, but also confuse the Solus. Because every single little tick of that Sense is going to be a track on the Solus. So they can't really see where that diffuser is going down. But the first step is they need to make sure they kill this player inside the site, because he's going to be that big issue. As Kiro running through off the nade. Wonderful teamwork as Exige goes down quick and early, and that's going to be the first step to try and getting this plant down. And here it goes again. Those Sense gadgets really just discouraging where it goes down as the impact goes down, trying to figure out, and they do stop it as Exa takes him down using the impact wonderfully to make sure the gadget goes down, and then shoots him down as well, so that the diffuser is dropped.
What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. Well, it'll be a little bit too long before some and too quick for the others. Unfortunately, we ain't gonna be able to bring you another one tonight. Unfortunate, Run.
Yeah, that's right. Right. We finished up so quick that we're probably going to need to wait another hour for one of the next games to hit that map 3 if they made it to the map 3. So let's recap a couple scores real quick. LATAM's Last Hope. They picked up 1 over Rushy. That's the Fisher College team. They've made it. Aerial Arise won their first map. Hat & Co. won their first map. Fury of Frogs, we were just watching, won their first and on their way to the second. In Control, CU and Valhalla also 2-0'd. They've already finished their game versus the Imperium of Man. So Fury of Frogs, FootLocker's finest, and CU and Valhalla right now look like two of the main teams to beat. So we said it tomorrow, 6 p.m. back here on the Siege Double Shot. We'll be ready for Swiss Stage Round 2. All teams get to play again tomorrow. We're going to pick a different game, a different set of teams. Tell us in the chat, tell us on Twitter which one of the games you want to see here casted tomorrow at 6 p.m. and we'll be back. We're going to send you off to one of the other games at this time, and I believe it is... Damn, I'm drawing a blank on which one it was. I think it's the... Boy, now I'm really drawing a blank on which one it is, too. Aerial? I think it's the Aerial game. It's the Aerial game.
Potentially. It actually might be getting close to ending as well. So we'll have to check in
Oh,
on that
okay.
one. But either way,
Okay.
we're going to be sending you off on this one, folks. We appreciate the subs. We appreciate the follows. Thank you for 8,300. Thank you for 136 Blast community casts. Thank you for everything. We appreciate having you guys here. And we're going to be doing it again tomorrow. So you know the deal and you know the drill. It's that dreaded part of the evening where we must, alas, bid you adieu. So as the lights start to dim and the jukebox starts to sing closing time, as always, my friends, you don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here.
Heyo.
Let's go.